easy question, I have to say.
Yes, ganyan na ganyan yung itsura niya.
Let's do it!
What the hell? Like, it's me. And say, oh my God.
They was like, holy beep. What's this going on? Because even now I get like speechless.
Why is it important for a beauty queen to have a good?
You do not know how to speak your mind. You're not going to give your organization much credibility for what you're really fighting for.
Beauty queen doesn't mean perfection. Now I feel embarrassed to say this, but I'm going to do it because that's how I am. So that's gonna go.
My wave became the Miss International wave. Right, Steven? I have become a patent.
Ito naman yung bumaba. Sabi ko, my God, kasi nastabi ko ng planet Hall. Tapos pag inaangat ko, hinihila niya. So ako, angat siya.
My travels. I love my travels.
I would just want it to be that I gave something back that made them happy.
Money or love?
Love.
Hi everyone, live from Manila. Welcome back to Missosology Beaity Talks, your ultimate pageant online show. This is your Missosology editor, Drew, and I am joined here tonight by my co-host, Missosology International correspondent, Amir Gamama. Hi, Amir.
Hi, Drew. Thank you, Drew, for a warm welcome. And I'd just like to say good morning, good evening, good afternoon to all the viewers right now, wherever you are now. So just enjoy the show. Okay, Drew, please kindly introduce now our guest. This is one actually my favorite African girl.
Yes, so without further ado, let's get the ball rolling. Our special guest for tonight is a 23-year-old model, creative, and activist. In June, she was crowned as the new Miss Namibia and is set to represent her country at the upcoming 70th Miss Universe. Friends, let us all welcome from the smile of Africa, the beautiful Chelsi Shikongo. Hello, Chelsi.
Hi, Chelsi.
Welcome to our show. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I love your makeup.
Thank you.
It's our pleasure, Chelsi. So let's get the ball rolling. It's been 4 months since you were crowned Miss Namibia 2021. How has your life changed so far?
It has definitely changed a lot because I sort of feel like I've manifested this moment as well, where last year I was really back home and I was not doing much and I was already like, oh, I really want to be busy again. And so when I entered Miss Namibia, it's sort of like that manifestation was answered with now how my life has completely changed because I'm always booked and busy and scheduled and I'm just trying to, enjoy it while I still can.
Yes, and you mentioned that you're always busy, and I'm sure with all the preparations for Miss Universe and your duties as Miss Namibia. But could you describe to us what's a typical day like for you?
So a typical day for me would definitely be, gosh, even like today was so much. I just came from my fundraiser. I was raising funds for my trip to Miss Universe, and it went really well. We got to raise at least like 50% of the target that we had in mind.
Wow.
And it was in another town, and that town was like 4 hours away, so I had to drive quite early to make it back into the capital city because now I have another speech to do tomorrow at the UN Namibia's anniversary actually. So stuff like that. It's always busy. I'm always talking to people, scheduling interviews, and having to make time for shoots and just making also time for friends and family. So my typical day is constantly how my day has been ever since I won.
Yes, so I'm sure it's very, very difficult to be Miss Namibia. But could you describe to us could you please describe to us yourself when you're not wearing the crown?
I mean, that's difficult to say actually, because I feel like I'm always wearing the crown. I think ever since like I won, people are always just like wanting to take pictures, wanting to talk, and it's like it's never just like, oh, they forget who I am. Only when I have my mask on and I'm like having my sunglasses on and I'm like walking in the
Yes.
grocery store and they're like, is it her? Is it not her? Like, that's probably the only time that like I get to, I guess, be the person, like I get to be Chelsi, but still like immediately when I take like my glasses off, then I become her again, like Miss Namibia. So I don't know. I just don't have a person that I am when I'm not wearing the crown, because I'm always like the same person with the crown, without the crown.
I'm sure it takes a lot of getting used to being a celebrity.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And before we move forward to our very interesting next segment, I just want to ask you, because in a previous interview of yours, I read that you were actually named after a former Miss Universe.
Yeah.
Could you tell us some more about that?
Okay, so in 1995, Namibia hosted our ever first Miss Universe, which was Miss Universe 1995. And my father was watching the pageant in Namibia, and it was happening at the country club in Windhoek. And my dad sort of manifested that the winner of the pageant, he's going to name his first daughter. And the winner was Chelsi Smith from USA, who won in Namibia in the year 1995. And then I was born in 97, so just a year after she was crowned. So that's like an amazing journey with my name that I really also love sharing with people. So yeah, that's how I got my name.
Who would have thought a few years after, 2 decades after, you will be competing also for the Miss Universe title.
Exactly, especially in the 70th year and me being born in 97. So it's just like I'm going through this full 360 moment, and I can't believe it. But I also believe that this moment was already written. It was going to happen one way or another. So I'm just so excited.
Yes. And I'm sure it was already written in the stars even before you were born. Yeah. So
Drew,
now let's move forward.
Next time,
Yes,
Chelsi
Amir.
will be the national director of Miss Universe Namibia, same as Chelsi.
Exactly. Probably we never know what the future holds, so it's definitely a possibility.
Okay.
Yes. So now we move forward to our next segment called This or That. So in this segment, we want to dig deeper and know more about you beyond tangently. So we will ask you to pick between two things or two scenarios, and you can explain to us briefly why. So are you ready for This or That?
I'm ready.
Wow. Love a girl who is always ready.
Okay,
I'm a Leo, so yeah.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do this, Chelsi. Show us to you who Chelsi is. Between coffee or tea, what do you love? Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Tea. Okay. Why tea?
Because I'm gluten and lactose intolerant. So sometimes, like when I do eat gluten or lactose, like peppermint tea helps with my indigestion. So it's like a favorite thing that I love to do every morning. I always have peppermint tea. Also because I like it, but it helps with my my indigestion.
Okay, that's a good decision. I love tea. Maybe I'm listening. Now, would you rather have dogs or cats?
Dogs. I'm a dog person. Like I want to have like 7 dogs, so that if one passes away, I don't want to have to deal with like, having to get a new dog and getting to know it again. At least I know I'll have 6 left. So I'm such a dog person. I love dogs.
Can you name your 6 dogs right now?
Oh gosh, I just want golden retrievers. I want 6 golden retrievers, and I want them all to be named after a flower, like lilies, dandelion.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Drew, next, Drew. Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram.
Easy to say Instagram.
I think Instagram because it gives a great platform for digital creators. Like people are actually starting to get paid now for doing jobs on Instagram. So I think that's really cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
And next, Drew, this one. Would you rather wear swimsuit or evening gown?
Evening gown.
Oh.
Evening gown because your evening gown tells your story. You can do so much with your evening gown. It represents so many things. It's the only opportunity, other than our national costumes, that we get to tell our own stories. So evening gown.
What's your favorite color then for evening gown?
Ooh, ooh, you're making me like confess things I'm not actually supposed to be confessing right now. So
And
that's
that
a smart one.
white. I know what
I
people
would
write.
say white.
Okay,
White is
perfect.
amazing color.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Drew. Sneakers or high heels?
Sneakers. I'm a sneaker person. I enjoy, I like walking, so sneakers.
Okay, that would be difficult if you always wear high heels.
I know. I
Okay.
know.
This one. Would you rather spend the day at an amusement park or lazing on the beach?
I've actually never been to an amusement park, so I would definitely want to spend a day there because I've been to the beach before. So definitely the amusement park.
I love also beach.
Yeah.
Okay, Drew. Oh, this one. Would you rather be a zombie outbreak or an alien invasion?
This is a tough one. Uh, Definitely an alien invasion. Yeah. I don't know. I have so many questions. So definitely alien invasion.
Okay. I also prepared that one in the invasion.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of zombies. Anyway, this one. Would you rather be on a survival reality show or on a dating game show?
No, definitely a survival reality show because I think it teaches you so much about like mental strength, and you make amazing friends, and this is like real because it's reality. It's really happening in the now, in the present. And I feel like a dating game show, it's like rehearsed, it's scripted, it's just like easy to make it fun. But a reality show, that's like something different. It's a great challenge. So definitely that one.
Yeah, I choose dating game show because I'm just kidding.
I
Next, Drew.
want focus. Yeah.
Okay, would you want to fly or turn invisible?
Especially now during this pandemic, I want to fly. If I could fly just to like somewhere else and just like go and enjoy the beach there or like anything else, definitely that. So being able to fly, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could fly elsewhere aside from Israel right now, where would you go?
Oh my goodness. The Bahamas,
Hmm.
Maldives, St. Lucia. Like I just want to go to a different beach because
Yes.
every time I go to even to Asia, I was in Asia, I lived there for like 2 months. I couldn't go to the beach because I was just working all the time. So I
Hmm.
definitely want to see like all as much of the beaches that I can. So
Yeah.
yeah.
If you come here in the Philippines, just tell us.
I was there, but it was like last year in
Oh,
June.
Hmm.
But I was in
Oh,
Manila for like 3 days
we live in
shooting some.
Manila. I live in Manila.
Really? We were
Yes.
shooting at a place called Makati.
Yeah.
Makati?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amir is always there.
I'm there in Makati. It's a place of
Really?
my it's a place of my lover. Oh,
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
just kidding.
So, so someday, if you come back here, just tell us, and we'll bring you elsewhere aside from Makati.
Okay, definitely I will.
Yes. Okay. So going back.
This one. Next one. Would you rather write a love letter or receive a love letter?
Receive a love letter. I'm
Hmm.
such a Leo. Like I love to just be praised and be told how amazing I
Oh.
am. So it would be so nice to receive a love letter because also the last time I received one, I think I was like 11. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Nice, nice. Next one, Drew. Would you rather have a rewind button or a pause button in your life?
Wow. I think a pause button. You know, it would be so nice when, like, let's say, for example, even like at Miss Universe, and they, you know, it's like in the top 3. And before they just announce, you can just like pause and just like take in the moment and be like, wow, you know, like you paused everyone, like the cheering, the host, all the girls, like everything is just paused, and like you get to take in that moment and be like, wow, in a few seconds my life will change forever, you know. So definitely pausing in my life, because I would love to pause those moments where I just want to take it in before it actually happens.
I love your answer. I love your answer.
Oh, thank you.
Next one, Drew. This one. Would you rather be criticized or be ignored?
I think a bit of both, because, you know, at the end of the day, we're all human beings, and sometimes you just want to be like, okay, today I just want to be left alone. So it's okay if nobody like liked, commented, or said anything about me. But then there are days where you're like, okay, I'm putting this out. I'm putting my, especially as a creative, because I'm a creative. So if I'm putting my work out, whether it's photography or makeup or my acting, I would love people to, you know, give me feedback on my work, whether it's good or bad. It's still just like critiques. So a bit of both. I don't know. I wouldn't choose either.
Okay. This one. Would you rather have more time or more money?
More money. I'm
I
laughing because
love your
it's like,
answer. I love the
no, like
honesty.
honestly, more money. Like in this life that we're currently living, like this current life, money makes the world go round. Like,
Okay.
obviously, yes, we can't buy time. And for me, there's so much that you can do in that hour with money. Like I could do so much with, if I had money, I could like fly, I could get like a private jet to fly, you know, and I can
Yes.
do that now. But with, I wouldn't want to buy more time, because I honestly just accept the way how life works, like its natural state. So I never would really want to mess with that process of how things are supposed to be. But I know with money, I have the choice to create whatever reality I want to create, you know. But with time, you can't, I cannot, you know, bring somebody back or go into the future. But I can buy, you know, stuff with that
Yes.
time.
I also love to have
I,
more.
yes. More time to have more money.
Yes.
Okay, I love your answer. I love that.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you.
Next
Okay. The
one.
next one.
Would you want to become confident, more confident, or beautiful?
More confident, because I think beauty is just, it's in the eye of the beholder. And confidence is something that really takes time to assess. It's something that really takes time to be part of your life, because it's not something that we can just buy. You can, okay, yeah, to an extent you can buy confidence. You can get somebody to train you how to be confident, but it's your life experiences and the conversation that you have with yourself that I truly believe makes a person confident. Confidence is
Mhm.
just being your authentic self. It has nothing to do with the way that you dress, how, you know, beauty standards in society or body standards in society. It's completely authentically being yourself. That's what confidence is to me. So I would definitely choose confident,
Yeah,
to
and
be
when you're
more
confident,
confident.
you feel beautiful.
Yes.
Next one.
And
This one's
finally,
favorite. Finally,
Mm.
would you rather choose a crown or romance?
Oh my goodness, this is so difficult. I'm such a hopeless romantic. Like, I love everything about romance, the love letters, the scented candles, and eating on the Eiffel Tower, and like kissing in
Oh,
Paris. I love
oh,
all of it. Like, I love it all. But I would definitely choose the crown
mhm,
because I want to make an impact, you know, and you need, not necessarily, you don't need it, but like it's another platform to create a bigger impact. So romance, it will always find me when it has to find me. But the
Yes.
crown, it's like one of those one in a lifetime opportunities that you can just, if it's there, I would take it. So the
Yeah.
crown, yeah.
Once you have a crown, romance will follow for sure.
I hope so, Amir. I hope so. Maybe I'll fall in love in Israel.
Okay, but I have a
Yes.
Kidding.
question. You can answer this question or not. It's okay. But I just want to ask: are you single right now?
No.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you need more crown to have more romance.
Exactly. I have romance. I just need the crown, you
Crown.
know.
Yes. So thank you,
Well, thank you,
Chelsea.
Chelsea, for gamely answering this or that question. It was such a fun. You show some
Yeah.
side of the personality. Thank you so much. I enjoyed it. Right, Drew?
Yes, and I always love it when our guest answers more money. It's just so real and so honest.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it.
No, thank you. I enjoyed it so much. I really did.
Okay. Okay, so now we will go to the more serious stuff right now. So, and we will be shifting gears a little and talk about your journey,
Mhm.
Chelsea, to the crown. So, why did you decide to enter the Miss Namibia pageant?
Initially, I felt like, okay, I'm back home. It's a pandemic, and this is probably the only opportunity I'll get to enter Miss Namibia because I'm an international model by profession. So what I usually do is I travel around the world and work and travel at the same time. So I never really, every time Miss Namibia happened, I was not in the country. I was working somewhere else. So I couldn't really balance them both. But then the pandemic happened and I was like, okay, this is a great opportunity to take part. And initially I entered because I wanted to challenge myself mentally, physically. I just wanted to also have a bigger platform to advocate for my campaign and my projects and just for what I stand for, because there's not so many platforms for women to really stand for something and really say, hey, I also have something to say and I also want to be, you know, I also want to sit at the table. And I feel pageantry has created that type of platform for women as well. So definitely that, just a platform to make a bigger impact on my projects, on my causes, and you know what I stand for. Yeah, that's why I
Yes,
entered.
so we all know now that you won Miss Namibia, but
Yeah.
at what point in the competition did you feel that you actually have a shot at winning?
In my last interview for Miss Namibia,
Yes.
I came out very confident because there's just that thing that you feel within the room that, wow, this is,
Yes.
I think I actually got this, you know. And I was so excited to just share that energy with my fellow contestants and my family and just be like, I feel so confident today and I feel like I did so well, and like nothing can like take away this feeling from me. And whatever the outcome is, I am so proud of myself for just making it this far and, you know, representing myself, because I was telling my story in there and they,
Mhm.
you know, they respected it, they appreciated it, and they were just in awe of what I represent and who I am. So in that moment I felt like, okay, maybe I do stand a chance
Yes.
of
So
placing. Yeah.
so after your final interview, you thought that you already have a chance. And now my
Hmm.
next question is related to this photo that I will be flashing.
Okay.
What was running through your mind when they announced your name as the new Miss Namibia?
Um, I mean, before that, we had the top 5 question round, and I was very nervous. Like, I think if you watch that part of the competition, I was very nervous that before I answered my question, I did fumble. But it's also because prior to that, I didn't have any, you know, public speaking experience. I didn't know all the little techniques that comes into answering a question.
Mhm.
And all I was doing was just feeding into my nerves that, you know, I fumbled a bit before I answered my question. So my confidence went a bit down while I was in the competition. But then I was just like, you know, we all worked hard to get here, and whoever wins the crown right now in the top 5, you know, congratulations to all of us, because we all really worked hard to get into the top 5. So when they call, because the host asked the judges, like, are you sure of your answer? So I was like, oh my gosh, like, not me, you know, because like I was the only one that fumbled with my answer. So it's probably some other girl. And then they said yes. And then he called my name. So I was like, what? That is so what? It doesn't make any sense. Like, I fumbled with my answer. Like, I did, you know, that's what I was thinking. Like, I was just thinking about how I answered, because even after the competition, like the cyberbullying was just about how I answered my question. So I was like, you know, but then when I took my first work as Miss Namibia, I was just like, I worked so hard for this opportunity, just like all of those other girls. So I am deserving of this crown, and I am going to wear it with honor and all the courage that I have. And I was just extremely overwhelmed and happy. Like, I think after that, I was probably telling myself like 200 times in the mirror, like, am I Miss Namibia? I am Miss Namibia. Like, did this really happen today?
You were trying to convince yourself.
So it was just amazing. Yeah, it was the happiest moment of my life.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier that you joined Miss Namibia because you wanted to widen your platform and to put it into a wider audience. And in one of your interviews also, you mentioned that you would like to empower each Namibian to invest in healthy living, food security, food sustainability. So why is this platform so important to you?
Yeah, so this platform is very important to me because I suffer from gluten and lactose intolerance. And that has been the forefront and inspiration of my cause, actually, which is raising awareness on the importance of the relationship that we have with food. How does that affect our body image, our mental wellness, and definitely our environment? Especially now during, you know, climate change. Namibia is one of the countries that are most vulnerable to climate change and global warming, because we already come from a dry country. We suffer from drought a lot in Namibia, and even now we're really struggling with rainfall. So it has put, you know, me into a position where I'm like, what can I do now when it comes to food sustainability, when it comes to nutrition? Because my relationship with food has completely changed. But I'm now thinking about those people, like the marginalized community, who does not even have access to food, who does not even have access to water. So if we want to accomplish anything, we have to start with how can we conserve water in Namibia? And that starts with also thinking about what is the relationship that we have with food, and how can we get to a place of healthy living? Because even in Namibia, when COVID broke out, the first issue we had was people didn't know their health history. So in order for people, before they even got tested for COVID, they had to get tested for you know, chronic illnesses, low blood pressure, high blood pressure. And that became an issue, because that also put us back with having to test every person that we had to, because we first had to see if they were, you know, if they had any chronic illnesses, if they're having any underlying illnesses, because a lot of people who passed away did have underlying illnesses. And I believe we could have saved so many more people if we made sure that before the pandemic hit, we had an initiative of encouraging people in healthy living and knowing the health history. So for me, health education is very important, and it ties in with everything that we're currently going through, the pandemic, climate change, and global warming. So I just wanted to start the conversation, or like continue the conversation on a platform such as Miss Namibia, because I believe, yes, I am an activist, but I'm not like, I don't have years of experience, and I don't know all the statistics about global warming and climate change. You know, I'm not Greta Thunberg, and she's like doing amazing things. But I was like, what can I do in this corner of mine in my country about this situation that we're currently facing? And that's the inspiration. And that's why I said, you know, that I want to encourage Namibians to invest in healthy living.
Yes, and that's very, very timely, especially as you mentioned, we're in a pandemic right now. And now there's also another campaign that you also started. You're the founder of I Can Say No Namibia.
Yes.
Please tell us more about this.
Wow. Yeah, I can say no.
You're doing a lot.
The project, I know, but I love it because, you know, who's going to do it? If you want to see change in the world, start. You have to start it. You have to be
Amen.
that change. So I started I Can Say No Namibia in 2015, mainly because I come from a town called Walfish Bay. It's in the coastal area of Namibia. And when I was in my last year of school, I had 4 close friends of mine, all pregnant, and we were like 16, 17 years old. So I always felt that our relationships completely shifted. I went on with my life and I continued to achieve all my goals, and they had to become mothers, and take care of this human being and put all their goals and dreams aside. Right. And, even having conversations with them back then, I used to think, like, why was this such an issue? Like, why didn't they just believe in themselves more and go for their dreams? And I know now that it's because when you're 16 and you come from a town where alcohol and drugs is prominent, the only thing that you can think about is finding somebody who says they will care for you, and you will believe that, because we are not encouraged to have self-confidence, to have high self-esteem, or have a positive outlook on life, because the things that are so ingrained in us or around us in Walfish Bay, it's just drugs and alcohol. So I decided, okay, the current issue that we're currently facing, and the major problem, is education. We don't encourage, or we don't have access to inclusive education, because I don't believe there's just academic education. There's also just common sense and life education that I think it's so important to teach, such as self-confidence. And it's one thing that we are really lacking in young girls. Just like 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗖𝗛 said, it's really a problem, and it's really an issue that is still prominent in Namibia. And I took it upon myself to be like, I can't really say that, as the youth, we need to abstain. There is no such thing. If you look at the statistics of Namibia, from the ages of 15 to 19, the youth is already sexually active. So we need to think about inclusive spaces. And I thought, okay, why not create a campaign that promotes abstinence, that, encourages inclusive sex education, because we're not just dealing with, women and men anymore, or girls and boys anymore. There's also non-conforming people and non-binary people. There's so many people who exist. There are even people who menstruate that are not women. So I think it's so important that we create a space of, how can we have this conversation without making it too sensitive or too provocative? Because that's the words that were used a lot when I was doing my research on sex education in Namibia. It's too sensitive. People cannot speak on it. And I was like, okay, my goal is to create a card conversation game that you can have, that you can, use with your family, with your friends, with strangers, just about the taboos and the myths and the facts about sex education, and why it's so important. Because when you are educated, you are even more confident, and you become responsible in the choices that you make. I believe if I back then knew about sex education, if my friends knew about sex education the way that the current generation knows about sex education, they could have made better choices. And, I could have been part of that statistic of teenage pregnancy in my hometown. But because I was raised by a single mother, and we are 5 children, it really, encouraged me to go for my dreams. It really pushed me to be Chelsi. Everything that you're currently seeing now, all this peer pressure and these live issues will always exist, but your dreams and your goals should be your priority. And I was like, if I want to make an impact, if I want to help the next girl, if I want to help my friends, I want to create a safe, inclusive space that we can all be educated on. So that's why I started the campaign, just to show that there is a safe platform where we can have conversations like this. And it doesn't have to feel like, it doesn't have to feel provocative or condescending. It can just start as a conversation. So
I love how you put it. When you're confident and educated, you become more responsible with the choices that you make, and that really resonates with anyone, especially to me. And I want to thank you for putting this forward, and to being very putting all your heart into this campaign.
Thank you.
I wish that you get to reach more people, and so that because this is something that is not really made public or not really talked about in public most of the time. And thank you for that. And I just want to say that I love the change in the personality when you were very bubbly at the beginning, and when you have to talk about the things that you're most passionate about, you really
Yeah.
become so passionate. And
Yeah.
I
And
love how you were.
and Drew, let me add that word. She speaks from her heart, so sincere.
Yes.
That's what I
Mhm.
love about you.
Thank
Okay,
you
so
so
now
much.
let's move to a little bit not so serious. So it's you're,
Okay.
but still serious because you're preparing for your Miss Universe. But you also mentioned earlier that you have been modeling as a profession, and you started this at the age of 15. So do you think your modeling experiences will be an advantage going into Miss Universe?
I definitely think so because, especially now in a pandemic, I think a lot of us will have to work with cameras, and I think that has prepared me. My modeling career has actually prepared me to be ready for that, because one thing I've realized as well, when I've seen like the behind the scenes of Miss Universe, there's always like one camera that's coming like in front of your face, and then you have to turn
Yes.
and do a pose. So I think that because I work a lot in front of the camera, I'm prepared for that, and it will
Yes.
help in a sense. And also just, yeah, I think so, because I'm just excited to take part. Honestly, I'm not even, I'm just thinking about, just go give it your best, just do your best, and enjoy while you're there, but also learn as much as you can on your
Mhm.
on your journey to Miss Universe. So that's pretty much like all I'm thinking about, and I definitely do think that does play a role, or it
Yes.
does give me sort of an advantage, because I am very much used to the camera, so I'm not gonna really struggle when it comes to stage presence.
Yes. So a few months after you were crowned Miss Namibia, you were announced as officially Miss Universe Namibia. So could you run us through your preparations and your training going into Miss Universe?
Yeah, so a lot of public speaking.
Uh-huh.
Like me and my partner are always practicing. I think it's so, I understand now the importance of practice, because we're always practicing, me and my partner, like previous questions, and I'm always watching like all the other, top fives, top three, top tens, and just understanding the algorithm and the patterns, and questions. When do they ask this question? When do they ask this question? And it really helps you. Even when I go through them, I'm like, oh, I remember what I said, what was my answer when this question was asked. And I've been doing a lot of public speaking workshops. I've also been training with, Michelle McLean, Miss Universe
Wow.
1992. Yes. She has
We
been
interviewed
helping me.
her here.
Yes, really
Yeah, we
amazing.
interviewed her last year.
Wow, yeah, so she's helping me a lot as well. And also my national director. Everyone has just been pitching in. And I'm just so lucky that I have really close friends of mine that have been in the industry of the pageant industry. So they're also helping me a lot with just preparing, with my posing, with my posture, because I would say that's the one thing that is new to me, because there's a certain standard of posing and walking for
Yes.
pageant. Then there is a certain standard of walking and posing for fashion week or for
Mhm.
photography. So just learning how to shift that my mental state, shifting to, okay, I can't just do whatever I want. There is a standard. So just learning that has been exciting, and I'm just so excited for you guys to
Yes.
see me on stage.
Yeah. I'm like very excited to see you turn on that pageant mode
Yeah,
and shifting to model mode. That will be very interesting. So you
I'm
mentioned
so
that
excited.
yes, you mentioned that you also talk with Michelle McLean. So Michelle has helped a lot of young women prepare not
Mm.
just for pageants but also for their lives. So what is one advice that has from her that has stuck with you?
Just that I should just be myself, and that who I
Mhm.
am is enough, and I will do really well, and I should just believe in myself, and sharpen those little things that I feel I need to sharpen. And it's just amazing how much confidence she has in me. And
Yeah.
that already is just so much encouragement, and it boosts my confidence so much that I'm just so excited to take part.
Yes. And it would be very, very nice to finally have another Miss Universe from Namibia after
I
more
know.
than after nearly 3 decades. So for the younger pageant fans, Michelle McLean is the very first Namibian to win the Miss Universe title in 1993. So
Yeah.
that's it. So now, aside from Michelle, who among the past Miss Universe winners do you look up to the most and why?
Definitely, like, must I just choose one? Is it just one?
You,
That I
you,
have
you
to
can choose as many as you want.
Okay, great. Firstly, definitely Chelsea Smith. And
Mhm.
I would say it's just the way that she represented herself and how she was, you could see that every time she was asked a question, she was just ready to tell the people what they're supposed to know. And I love a bold queen who has a statement, who makes sure that what she needs to say, people will know. And, that's one thing that I feel Chelsea Smith has inspired in me, to always make sure that I'm true to myself and that I just stay
Yes.
authentic to myself and I tell my story through my journey, and just, me being there is me doing my best. Catriona Gray is one
Uh-huh.
of the people that I definitely currently, like a current queen that I look up to, because she reminds me so much of me. Like, I feel
Mhm.
like what she went through at Miss Universe is what I'm currently going through, just being like, focus on the journey, focus on the competition, and you being you is enough. And, everything starts with a single step. And
Yes.
knowing that, she has tried even with Miss World Philippines, and, then
Yes.
entering Miss Universe, and then, actually winning, just shows that preparation and just believing in
Mhm.
yourself really, it takes, how do they say it? You have to prepare to mature into a woman of substance. And I feel that Catriona is that person. She is a
Yes.
woman who prepared to mature into the role of becoming a woman of substance. So she really inspires me in that sense of, like, she was just being herself, and she made sure that people knew her story. She's a creative, she's in the arts. And for me, that it means so much to me, because I'm in the arts too, and it's one of the industries that people still don't take as serious, but I feel is
Yes.
so important, because even now in this pandemic, we have been carrying the universe on our backs as creatives. And I
Mhm.
think it's just time that people recognize us as a career and as a job. And lastly,
Agree.
of course, the beautiful, wonderful Zozibini Tunzi. I think if it
Mhm.
wasn't for Zosie winning, just seeing her on that stage talking about how she felt that she never saw a woman who looked like her on screen with her type of hair and her type of skin, definitely resonated with me, because as a model, I just felt that maybe that's just the industry that I can exist in. I don't think there was a
Mhm.
space for me in pageantry.
Yes.
And seeing Zosie win Miss Universe really showed the representation in a lot of dark skinned black women, because we just, I don't know, I just felt that we needed to see that moment. We needed that
Yes.
moment, and the universe knew that we all needed that moment, just for black women to believe that there are spaces for us. There is a space for us with our type of hair and our type of skin and the way
Yes.
that we look in, the beauty and the pageant industry. So that will be the one thing I think that will forever, you know inspire me, or I'll always look up to her, is because I lived to see her represent me on that
Yes.
stage. So yeah,
We, our generation is very lucky that we
we
witnessed
are.
Zosie
Yeah,
being crowned Miss Universe. She was a trailblazer. I could go on and on and on to say how historic and important that win was
yeah,
for not just for people for the for the older generation, but also for the younger generation that has been inspired by her. And now we
Yeah.
move forward to Ask the Queen. So Amir, what's this segment?
Okay, just show the screen, Drew.
Okay, these are the questions that we asked your fans to send us, and we picked three of the best ones. And when I told you earlier that these are really good questions, I really mean it. So here's the first
Okay.
one. Here's the first one, Amir.
Okay, from African pageantry. As an African woman, what do you think is one misconception that other people have about our continent, and how has that affected Africa? Should I repeat? As an African woman, what do you think is one misconception that other people have about our continent, and how has that affected Africa? So this is coming from the same continent you are.
Okay. I think the one misconception is people thinking that all African people are from one place. They all think Africa is one country, and that I would probably know Miss Nigeria and Miss Ghana or Miss South Africa just because, we are all from Africa, but we all come from different places and different parts, different ethnicities, different dialects. It's very different. It's the same thing. For example, I would never mistaken an Indonesian for a Filipino because I know the difference. It's within the accents, it's within the dialect. Even Indians from Native Americans, you see the difference, right? So I think that's the one misconception that people, and it's definitely affected us because even as a model, people would always mistake me for a Nigerian, a Kenyan, a Rwandan. I've also been mistaken a lot of times for South African, and I can't even speak any of the native languages in South Africa. So those are one of the misconceptions I think that are really, or that's the one misconception that's really affecting us as Africans, because I think it's so important that the whole world sees Africans as individuals. And I think it's really now time to make space to get to know Africans and who we are as individuals, because we really need to we are already showing the world that we're individuals. And if we need to come together as people, let's come together, all of us, rather than just putting Africa like in one box, because we all are different in our own ways, but we all also are just human beings, and we should just respect and treat each other as.
Wow, I love your answer.
Thank you.
That was
Actually,
really important. I think that
Yeah.
was really important that
yeah,
Yeah.
you put it out there that Africa is not just one country. We are a
Yeah.
continent that is so diverse, and you should uh, exert the effort to get to know
Yeah.
us.
Exactly.
Yes. And now the next question, Romir.
coming from Carlo Medianista Palmihar. What has been a challenge you have experienced in life, and how did you overcome it?
Wow, challenges. I've been going through a lot of challenges. The one thing though, because I'm raised by a single mother, and my mom taught me from the age of 12 that, nobody in this life owes you anything. Okay, whatever choices anyone makes, it's up to you if you're going to accept those choices. And if you do, you have to prepare yourself to accept those consequences of those choices as well. So, growing up like that, it has taught me resilience and perseverance. And it has put me in a position where I have really struggled, or it's a challenge for me to always ask for help. That's one of the challenges I had as Miss Namibia, just being like, hi, I really need this help, or I really need, financial assistance has been one of the challenges for me. And one way that I overcame it was just honestly speaking to friends and them telling me, Chelsea, it takes a village. In pageantry, it takes a village. You cannot do it alone. And it's okay to ask for help. So I'm still learning. It's still a challenge for me to just ask for help and be like, I'm really struggling with this. But I'm also learning that's the only way I can overcome it actually is through putting myself out there.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. And
That
the last
makes
question.
us confident in being strong women.
Uh,
Of the
yes.
challenges
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah.
Okay. The last question.
Coming from Love Crown. Oh, I love this Miss Love Crown. You are hosting a dinner party and must invite three beauty queens. Who would you choose and why?
Just three.
Three.
I
Come
know,
from
that's why
different
I'm like,
countries.
just just three. Wow.
Just three aside from you, because you're also a beauty queen.
Okay. Okay. So just three. I would definitely invite Miss Universe 2005, Natalie,
Mm.
because I resonate with a lot of what she stands for and what she advocates for and what her platform is about. More of the spiritual aspects of it, and her answer is one of the most iconic answers in the world. So,
Yes.
or just like on YouTube, it's like part of the most iconic answers from Miss Universe. So, and then the second one, Chelsi Smith. I honestly just want to have endless and endless, endless conversations with her. I want to get to
Mm.
know her. I want to know just who she is as a person. I would have wanted to know, you know.
Yes.
Um, and the third person would definitely be Catriona
Yes.
because, like I said, she's a creative. And I think there's so much that we can do together. I think there's so much that I can learn from her, and
Mm-hmm.
there's just so many questions that I want to ask her, because I also feel she's one of those beauty queens that made sure that you remember her as Miss Universe, but you also remember her as Catriona, and she made sure that those two brands are solid. She can do work as Catriona, she can do work as Miss Universe 2018. So I think that's really important to know your brand as well, and just also to know what can you do for yourself after the organization, after your reign. What are you still going to do? And I think she's a great representation of that, especially as a creative. So those are the girls, those are the
Yeah,
women,
that's
and
a very interesting mix
yeah, I know,
of
right?
invitees. So thank you,
But
Chelsea.
other than the three, you should have invited us also.
Yes, of
Of
course.
course.
Of course, you guys are going to host the party. Like, who? You guys are going to host the party.
Yes. So that was the questions from the fans. So before we move forward to our next segment, we just want to thank all the fans for sending in their questions. And
Yeah.
for the next interviewers, just keep them coming. We
But
really, really
Drew,
love all
let
of the
me
questions.
say this first. Thank you to all the fans who sent in their questions. Thank you so much,
Mm.
guys.
Yes.
All the questions. We have a lot of questions received, but we can't read it all.
Yes.
Mm.
Sometimes we get inspiration from all of their questions. From for the other questions that we ask. So thank you everyone. But now, Chelsea, I will give you a little time to breathe because the next segment is called the Q&A challenge. Ooh.
Oh.
So in this segment, we will assume that you're now in the final Q&A of Miss Universe. So we have 10 questions prepared and each question is assigned a number. So
Mm.
please imagine that you have a bowl over there and you're picking a number. And
Okay.
please give us your first number. So let's do three.
Okay. Should I? Oh, number 3.
Okay. Question number
Imagine
three.
this is final and you are answering now.
Yes.
Okay. Question number three came from a previous Miss World edition. What can your country teach the rest of the world?
My country can teach the rest of the world that it's so important to be brave. I mean, it's literally within our national anthem. Namibia, land of the brave. Because if you look at each and every Namibian that made an impact in the world, they were brave. And I think now more than ever, we all need to practice it in our everyday lives because it's so important and it's so within our core to always be brave in whatever we do. Thank you.
Good job. Good job. That was the first one. Okay. Number three is out. One more number from the bowl.
Is it from 1 to 10 or from 1 to 5?
Yes,
From
from
1.
1 to 10. 1 to 10.
Okay. Number 8.
Okay. Number eight. What would you say to someone who believes that pageants are archaic and against the feminist movement?
I believe that we should always focus on what is the platform doing for women. Pageants have changed so many women's lives, and not just in their lives, in their careers as well. And myself, I'm a feminist, but I'm a true feminist at core, that I believe that now more than ever, we need to create inclusive spaces, and pageants do that. They create inclusive spaces for all types of women representing their respective countries from all over the world. So I think it's really important that we focus on that, what we can do to promote and make pageants more inclusive. So it's not about it being, we shouldn't focus on the negatives or on the negatives of the pageant world. We should focus on what is it actually doing for women, and we should actually also focus on actual facts. If there are, bad things that happened in the pageant industry, I think it's so important, if there is, that it needs to be factual. Thank you. I don't think I was prepared for that question. I wasn't prepared. I try not to get too passionate about it, because I'm just like, pageantry has done so much for the world. Like, why are people still feeling like it's not a platform to advocate for, But yeah. Drew, your mic is off.
Yeah, I remember when Catriona was answering a similar question. She mentioned that the whole point of feminism is not to bring women down, but to support them in whatever causes they do. And in this instance, joining beauty pageants. So I think that was it. And now, please give us another number, Chelsi.
Okay, I'm gonna go with number 5.
Okay, question number 5. What do you think has been the most important social movement of your generation, and why?
Oh gosh, just the fact that we are so in tune with our emotions, that we actually stand up for what we want to say, that we are actually starting the conversations that our parents and our grandparents couldn't even start. The fact that we are here, we care, and we want to change things. And if that takes us protesting, if that takes us creating a hashtag, if that takes us sharing somebody's crisis on our social media platforms, I think that has been the most impactful and most important social movement of my generation, because we are literally changing the world, especially in this pandemic. And I am so fortunate that I got to, and that I'm still getting to experience that movement.
Smile. Good job, Chelsi.
Thank you.
Passing the Q&A challenge with flying colors. I wish we had
thank you.
to answer all these 10 questions. And now, we're now at the home stretch of our interview, and I wish we had more time for all of the questions. And now, my question, Chelsi: the only time Namibia won Miss Universe was in 1993. We mentioned it. What does it mean for you to win the Miss Universe crown again for your country?
Even just mentioning Michelle McLean and what she has done for Namibia it still impacts us till today. And she won in 92. So just that impact, not just for the pageant world, because for Namibia's pageant industry, it would mean so much, especially now more than ever. We already have an international title, which is Miss Supra National, and we are extremely, extremely proud to be one of those countries that can say, hey, we're actually trying. Hey, we're here. We want to represent. We want to show you that what we've got. And for me, that's what I want the world to see, that we're here, that we're present. We are bringing our own chairs to the table, to the pageant industry. That's what I want them to see. And I want them to also see that we don't want you to give us mercy. We want you to give us a fair shot. And that's what I'm representing. I'm representing giving my country a fair shot. And winning that title will just show how it's so important to just give someone a fair shot, give someone an opportunity, and not look at their circumstances, their class, where they come from, but just what is your potential. And if I give you this, and I know that if I give you this opportunity, you deserved it because I gave you a fair shot at it. And that's what Namibia needs, just a fair shot and an opportunity to show the world, the universe, what we've got.
Period.
Yeah.
You encapsulated it there, everything perfectly. And you mentioned earlier, Chelsea, that Namibia is the land of the brave.
Yes.
But going into Miss Universe, is there something that you fear?
Not fear really. I just hope that, I loved how they did it this year with, the 7777, because it
Mm-hmm.
sort of gives each and every woman an equal, fair opportunity to just be like, I'm representing my country and not my whole continent.
Mm-hmm.
Because yes, indeed, I will be representing Africa, but I also want to feel like I'm representing myself on that stage. I'm representing my country on that stage. And, I hope, crossing fingers, that they use the same method. But at the end of the day, it's also just about survival of the fittest. And I wouldn't really say I fear anything in the competition. I'm just a bit more worried also with the pandemic. I really hope that the pageant does take part and they don't reschedule it or shift it or anything, because,
Yes.
some women have been, I think I heard Miss 𝗪𝗧𝗖𝗛 said when she was crowned, she was 26. And I think she said there was like 3 or 2 years ago. So there have been title holders really waiting for this opportunity. And I think now more than ever, it's just important to keep putting role models out there and creating spaces of inspiration yet again on the Miss Universe platform. And yeah, I think there's not really a lot there's not really something that I fear. Maybe the nerves will kick in, when they're like 3, 2, 1, cameras on, we're live. But other than that, those are just like some of the worries that I sort of have. But I know that eventually everything will work out the way that it's supposed to.
Yes, and we're crossing our fingers that everything
Yes.
works out and everything goes smoothly. And we pray for a very safe Miss Universe coming in this December.
Yes.
And now, finally, yeah, I have two more questions for you, Chelsea.
Oh,
Aside from
okay.
being Miss Namibia, how do you want people to remember Chelsea?
I just want to remember them. Sorry, I just want people to remember me as that one girl who went for everything. And I want people to know that I gave it my best and that I enjoyed each and everything that I did. I do it from the bottom of my heart. Honestly, I love being an advocate. I know my social responsibility and I'm here for it. That's why, even with modeling, wherever I go, I'm proud to say I'm from Namibia. And that's how I want each and every Namibian to feel. They should be proud from where they come from. Even if we're just 2.5 million, we matter and we're here. And I think that's what I want people to remember, that Chelsi said that I mattered and her impact in this world mattered to me because she made me feel that I was valued and that I deserve to be on this planet as well. So that's what I want, yeah,
Aw,
people to remember me by.
that was so heartfelt. And now, finally, Chelsea, fill in the blank. I am Chelsi Shikongo from Namibia, and I am blank.
Okay. I am Chelsi Shikongo from Namibia, and I am capable and I am enough.
Woohoo!
I love
Yes,
it.
I am capable and I am enough. I love that, Chelsea. Once again, thank you so much for making time and for being with us here today. And I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the Miss Namibia organization for allowing you to be with us tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Chelsea, for your time. I believe you're busy now for your preparation for Universe, but you give us your time, and I'm really excited for you. Come this, I mean, next month, right? Or oh no, 2 months from
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
2 months from now.
From now, I'm
Yes,
so
and
excited.
also I want to give a shout out to Connie. Connie, if you're watching,
Hi,
thank you
Connie.
so much for allowing Chelsea to be with us. And before we let you go,
Just
Chelsea,
wish I can go with you in Israel.
yeah,
Just try.
Yeah, I think one of our correspondents from Missosology will go there. I'm not too sure yet. I'm also planning to go there. Yeah, I'm excited.
yes, hopefully, Amir, it pushes through.
Let's pray for
And
that.
Chelsea, before we let you go, a message to all your fans and supporters, and you can also speak in your native language.
Yeah, like literally my native language is just English because I'm one of those kids that just grew up with everyone who speaks different languages. So
Mhm.
I just want to tell each and every person out there, just thank you so much for the love and support. And I know it's been a difficult time, very difficult time for all of us. And I just want you to know that I am here and we're all in this together. And we should always go for our goals and really achieve our dreams because we are definitely deserving and we are capable and we're enough. So thank you.
Once again, your Miss Universe Namibia 2021 and Miss Namibia, Chelsi Shikongo. So we wish you all the best of luck in your upcoming journey to Miss Universe, and can't wait to see you on
Enjoy,
the
Chelsea.
stage.
Enjoy your journey to Miss Universe. And if you have some updates, you can send us whatever updates you have. Just message us. Although we support
Okay.
Chelsea from Namibia.
I'll do
Yes.
that. Thank you
Well,
so much, Drew and Amir. This was so amazing.
Chelsea, I'll
I hope I
follow.
meet you guys.
What? Sorry, Drew. Do you have the Instagram of Chelsea, right?
yes, Chelsi Shikongo.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You
I'll
can
follow
follow
you.
her. Yes.
Mind you, my name there is not Amir, but it's Miss Becky Sanchez. So you will be
Love
wondering
it.
who Becky Sanchez is.
We'll see you soon. We'll see you soon.
All
See
right.
Bye
you
Thank you so
bye.
much.
soon.
Bye.
So once again, that was Miss Universe Namibia, Chelsea Shikongo. That was a very fun and neaty interview, Amir.
Yeah, actually, Drew, I'm sorry, pardon, because I am currently doing the shoot right now. So I'm not. But Drew, one thing for sure, Chelsea's ready. Also, I love the
Yes,
way
she is.
she answers questions. She has a very bubbly personality. I love her.
Yep. And once again, thank you to the Miss Namibia organization for allowing Chelsea to be with us. And to everyone who's still tuning in, because it's already 1 a.m. Here in Manila. If you want to watch all our previous episodes, you can go to our Facebook page or YouTube channel. You can also listen to our podcast if you don't want to see our faces on Anchor.fm or on Spotify. This episode will be uploaded on our podcast in a few hours. So once again, until the next interview. It will be on October 30, and we have a very special guest for
Yeah,
you.
we have a very,
Again,
very special guest.
we can't reveal it now, but we will reveal it very soon. So
I'm
once
excited.
again,
For now, everyone, good night, good morning from wherever you are, guys. Thank you to Jason Lyson. Ah, Jason.